OddFellows Podcast, joined here by my good friend Winfell. How are you? How are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's an exciting week, I suppose.
Oh yeah, what's been going on with you?
Just a lot, isn't it? There's a lot of gaming news to get stuck into. Forward to.
Oh, absolutely. Can't wait to talk about it. Uh, oh boy, here we go. Let's see here.
What's first on the agenda, Mimic?
We've got four trailers that we can watch. One of them you sent my way. Three of them I sent your way. We have a couple things to talk about. One of those trailers specifically, and then we're also talking about Xbox and Cyberpunk, as well as what I think you've sent me as well. I think you've sent me some stuff, right?
Yeah. I sent you a few there.
Yeah.
You're the one that's posted the ball, but I sent you a few too. Yeah.
Oh, I just love to jump through Reddit and see what they got for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not putting any effort in. Screw that.
That's what it's about, isn't it? That's
why should I? Reddit's right there. It can do all my work for me.
No, let's not do effort.
we don't do that here.
No.
All right. So the first one's actually the one that you sent me want to look at is little game coming out soon. I don't know when you said it. It might be rearing its head. It's Exo Mecha.
Oh yeah, it comes out in August. This one.
It comes out in August. Okay.
Yeah, no official. There's no official release date other than August 21, so it's probably going to be delayed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just in time for my birthday, I suppose. But from what you were showing me on this one, I definitely get a lot of kind of like you said, like a little Halo vibes. There was one day one game that came out this year that had something like that where you could storm like the beaches of Normandy and Japan and stuff, but it was all, it was in mechs and you had katanas and stuff like that. It kind of gave me that vibe as well.
I don't think I know that game.
Oh, I need to find that. I'll definitely find that.
But you're not wrong with the Halo vibe, because if you look at it, if you ask me, you've got warthogs in there, which is some of the vehicles. You got tanks. So it looks it's like a chrome Transformers come Halo. I would describe it.
Yeah. Looks very interesting. What's that? Oh, Warface.
Oh, Warface, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
I guess it's just your generic first-person shooter, throw mech in, and you've got it. I wouldn't say it's up there with Titanfall in terms of quality, but we'll see.
Well, we're about to find out. So let's switch over to our video feed, and I think I've ironed out the glitches on good old Watch Together this time around. So, guys, buckle in. You know what? Enjoy this with us.
I don't want to say anything about that just yet. How bad that looked.
Yep. Thinking the same thing. Yep. Thinking the same thing. So there we go. Exomecha
Yeah.
for August. So yeah, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
So I think it goes back to my original thought with it was, that's Halo with mechs. And everything leading through it. I mean, you've even got plasma grenades there. I mean, that looked awful, by the way. The host.
I wouldn't say it looks terrible. I think there's definitely a lot of potential there, but they definitely need to get a little bit of, I guess, impact going with the with some of the animations. They look very dull. The models look kind of bored to be there.
Yeah, there's not a lot. For me, there's nothing that is going to grab my attention, I don't think. Like, it's all been done before, all of it. There's nothing new.
Well, yeah, it's not innovating anything. I think there's definitely some good movement that they've got going down there with the grappling hooks, the getting into different vehicles. I like some of the different vehicle designs too. The Spider Walker mech, the Warhog itself. But of course, that's been done. Interested to see how they're going to do these big Gundam style fights.
Okay, so there are 3 game modes in the game. Let you know. We have a team-based deathmatch, we have team-based objective, and we have a battle royale mode because who doesn't need that? The mechs,
of course.
Yeah, the mechs themselves, they have abilities that you can upgrade and stats that you can upgrade, and their combat revolves around melee damage with swords and shields. That's how the mechs are going to play out. In terms of whether you have to call the mech in, I'm assuming that, like Titanfall, I think that's what they're going to do. They've not actually said too much about it other than that, basically.
It's going to be a pretty high bar to step up to when you're talking about mech battles, because Titanfall 2 was really good. Titanfall 2 was a really good game, and they had mobility, the wall running, the combat between mechs and everything. All of it nice, really well polished game, and the aesthetic is definitely more towards like this is completely preferential on my end, but I love the kind of gritty look of Titanfall. How everything kind of looks imperfect, quote unquote. Everything's like scrappy. Whereas with this, you get a very clean look, almost Transformer esque. Very very chrome and polished.
Yeah, apparently what happened was it wasn't initially all chrome like that, but they introduced one of the mechs and made it chrome, and then they decided to make the whole game like that. So it was definitely an artistic change of view when they were going through development. But
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. I might scratch somebody else's itch, but yeah, I don't know. It's something I really like about the kind of grittier sci-fi when kind of like Alien, I guess.
Yeah. Do you know, if you just to bring back as well, that big dragon you see at the end, that's an AI controlled dragon that you can defeat for extra stats.
Okay.
Like a League of Legends thing where you jungle in and you kill the dragon. That's what that dragon's in there for. Those AI controlled stat booster for your team if you kill it.
I'm curious to see like how all these things kind of play into each other. Like what exactly they have to do with each other,
I really don't see the battle royale thing in that, to be honest. I don't see how that's going to work.
Who knows? I mean, it's 2021. If your game doesn't have battle royale in it, what are you really doing, right?
Yeah, it's true.
All right. So yeah, that's Exomecha. If you guys look, chat, what do you guys think? Send us some juicy hot takes. You think this is going to be the game of the year? I mean, come on, man, it looks pretty good, right?
Well, and also, I'm pretty sure it's just an Xbox. I do think it's going to come on.
Definitely game of the year.
Yeah, so it's going to be on the Game Pass, I think. So it's going to be on Xbox Series X and Xbox One, and I think maybe Epic.
I'm a bit of a plebeian when it comes to consoles and passes. Explain an Xbox Season Pass to me.
Xbox Season Pass.
Yeah. Explain that to me, because literally I have not played a console in like 12 years.
Well, no, the Xbox Game Pass is just...
Or Game Pass, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, for me, it's the best one you can get. It's ideal. So you pay what is it? It's $10.99, $12.99 a month, something like that for the Ultimate Edition, Ultimate Game Pass, and you can play any game on that Xbox Game Pass as long as you want. Download it, install it, play it.
And they put different games onto the pass.
Yeah, they take games off it. But it's not just like 10 or 20 games. It's like hundreds, 100 Xbox games.
So it's a subscription to more games.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's just like EA Pass. Have you seen the EA Pass with EA games on there, like Origin Premium stuff?
No, I don't touch Origin.
Well, no one does, but again, it's. I think Origin started it off.
I used Origin for a brief stint with Apex and Battlefield, and I was done with it.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us were. But the Xbox Game Pass, if you want to play a Xbox game, because I did it for Crusader Kings 3 and Microsoft Flight Simulator when that first came out.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, and also Battletoads randomly.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, that was a random one, but I like that one.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I hope they polish it up a bit more. Like I said, I think they need a little bit more impact in some of the action there. I think they've got like explosions and their guns and weapons and the systems down pretty well. I think they know what they're doing at that point. Curious to see what they do with the, I don't know what it is, like motion blur, I guess.
Yeah, it seemed extreme that, didn't it? That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's almost kind of distracting. So don't know what they're gonna do from there, but I guess we'll see.
It was I mean, you got to look at that's probably beta gameplay.
I assume.
So I'm hoping you can narrow that, like take the bloom off, not bloom, the blur. Or we've been an Xbox console game. I'm not really sure how that works.
We're 4 months away from August, so I mean, if that's beta gameplay, I hope they tighten it up. But yeah, and so speaking of Game of the Year, great transition. We have No Man's Sky coming. We'll watch a little trailer, and they have their No Man's Sky Expeditions trailer. We talked about them last week. With Sean Murray. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep, got it this time. Sean Murray, he really interesting, fascinating guy. Back in 2016 with his release of No Man's Sky the first time, and just after the initial controversy of the game not really living up to the expectations or goals that it itself set down for its player base, some poor marketing on Sean's part, they kind of just went underground. Got very quiet, and then just started pumping out updates, and just one update after another, and pretty soon it allegedly, because I have not been back to play it for some time, but from what I hear, has surpassed even its initial goals that it set out. So, and here we are once again, seeing yet another update called Expeditions, or a trailer for their upcoming update, Expeditions. And I think it's pretty neat. So let's have a look.
Expeditions update. A new mode where players start on the same planet and embark together on expeditions across the galaxy. Use updated visualization technology to discover secrets. Work as a community to unlock new rewards. Earn mission patches by conquering milestones. And voyage together across the galaxy to discover new frontiers. A complete new way to experience the universe together. And undertake unique and dangerous challenges. Our journey continues.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's solid. I mean, I'm one of those that enjoyed No Man's Sky right from the beginning anyway. I thought it was a great game. Yeah, they promised too much. They did. There was too many promises there. There was a lot of things that went wrong. I'm not necessarily going to blame Sean Murray for it, though. I do think a lot of it was down to PlayStation and the way they were promoting it and forcing it out there. And I don't think PlayStation have had a great record recently with some of the games they pushed as features for their consoles. But from what I've seen and what I've played of No Man's Sky, because I played it in VR as well, I think it's phenomenal what they're doing. And I think the business model they've got, like update everything for free, is great. I love it.
Yeah. From what I've heard back in the day was that they definitely had a plan and a roadmap for creating this game, but after a certain time, there was a certain point very late in the game's creation that one of their offices, I think it was just their one main office, because I'm pretty sure it was just Sean Murray and a couple guys working on this thing, had a flood, and I theorize that may have set them back harshly.
Yeah.
And that the worst thing they could have done was actually sent Sean Murray out to be the kind of the PR rep, quote unquote, because it seems like he's not the kind of guy to understand that he can't make promises during interviews, because the internet just takes that and runs with it to such an insane degree. And I think he was a little underqualified to be promoting the game.
Oh, really? He'd go that way.
Yeah, I've seen some interviews. He seems like the kind of guy that would just say yes,
Well, I don't.
without really thinking too much about it.
Yeah, I think it would be cruel to say that it's his responsibility. It's his game, but I mean, I wouldn't say he's in marketing, is he? He's in development.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. Is just like it probably would have been better to send somebody else out. Obviously, you want the guy making the game to be out there talking about it as well.
Yeah.
But I would say it just wasn't the right fit, and it's nothing to say against him, because again, just from what we've seen, he pulled this whole thing back around by just putting his nose to the grindstone and releasing update after update after update. And like you said, yeah, I also really appreciate the business model here of just continuous free updates. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I can also definitely understand and sympathize with the state of the game and the disappointment with it for most players, because people were looking for so many of the things that he had promised in those interviews, and they weren't really just looking at the game as it was. And I will say, because I also played it specifically for PS4 when it dropped, it was okay. It was an okay game. I was also kind of missing a lot of the multiplayer elements, the base building elements that weren't there right from the get go. It was very disappointing, to say the least, at the time. Excuse me.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I think they've done a really good job with it.
Oh yeah, but since then, they definitely brought it back.
And I think that's one way to get people back on board, isn't it? It's it's rather than just release a game for $60 whatever and just release DLC for another $30. Get your shipping order, get it fixed, get it out there, and you're definitely going to keep players coming back to you, and you're going to gain a lot of trust from players back, as well as a lot of goodwill. And that's what it's all about. If you want people to play your games, it's all goodwill.
It was a rocky start, but he and his team definitely did something that you don't really see a lot of studios that are able to do, because it's pretty. Once you get on the internet's bad side, quote unquote, on your audience's bad side, it's tough to bring that back.
He did definitely have a bad image, but I think he's fixed it. I think he's done really well. I really do. And it's definitely getting people back on board. It's like Grizz says here, which is that a lot of people are playing it, which might be even crashing the service. So it's working. Whatever they're doing is definitely working.
Yeah. And I enjoy it. I always love the concept that it's just a procedurally generated world.
Yeah.
And I guess part of the reason I play a lot of games is for multiplayer. I love being able to, grab some friends, go in, and like Dark Souls is probably one of my favorites to actually play multiplayer with, as funny as that is to say. But it's just the summoning the summoning system, being able to fight bosses and go through areas with each other. It's fun. It's just the experience of having your friends alongside there. It's a lot of fun.
See, I did Dark Souls 2 without a single bit of help. Like
Oh,
on
yeah.
champion thing, you know, did it myself. And it's weird that you say, because I would never associate Dark Souls with multiplayer.
Right? I wouldn't, and I totally recognize that because it's definitely a single player game first. But I love the summoning system. I think it's janky as hell, but when it's actually working as intended, I think it's fantastic. Sorry, guys, if anyone hears me clear my throat.
I think we all do.
This week. I'm just sick this week, and I'm just trying to get over it.
Go
Hi,
get some
Tomato.
water.
Oh, I got 2 bottles right here. Tomato, welcome to the stream. We were just watching 2 trailers for Exo Mecha and No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky's got another update coming in. Yeah, might reinstall, might go back in, see what it's like now. Check it out, because I heard they also had a underwater update, which, oh man, I love that. I love that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we'll see. You know, good luck to them. I hope they keep pumping out updates. It's a great way to just continue to improve their game, and like kind of just win back and the favor of their community, and just continue to look better as they go forward. So our next trailer we'll go into is a game called Dark Alliance. Now you and I were both fans of D&D. Is that correct?
Oh, that is 100% correct.
I love me some good old Dungeons and Dragons. And Dark Alliance. Have you seen the initial trailer, the first one?
No, I have not.
Okay, so I assumed you might not. Would you like to have a good laugh?
Yeah, throw us in.
Because despite my despite my excitement for the game, I do not think it's a good trailer that they released. Oh, hold on 1 second. Are you pressing play? You messing with this?
No, I'm not touching a thing.
No. What is this? Okay, let me see. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think you're gonna have a good laugh at this. Let's put that in before. This is the Game Awards reveal trailer. What do you think? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. If that was the only trailer they ever released for it, I don't think I'd ever play it.
Right?
I would never pick it up.
Yeah, you have to understand. I adore D&D, and I'll take any kind of video games that they can show out of the IP. But what was that?
My initial thought actually watching that was they kind of gone the Doom route, which was heavy metal music, a lot of blood. But Doom has got decades in doing this.
It's just Doom doesn't even have vocals. Like, they kind of they have the heavy metal stuff going, but there's nothing to really distract, I guess.
Yeah.
It's there to complement, whereas that was just, oh my god. And the weird part was just the camera. I don't understand what the hell they were. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute it real quick. I'll replay it though. It's just, what were they doing with these cameras? Like, it's like strapping a GoPro to one of their swords. It's such a weird angle to go with. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
Well, to be honest, they're probably just trying to hide from generic gameplay, which is what it looks like it's going to be.
Well, I'm personally a fan of like the whole Vermintide formula, or the Left 4 Dead formula, which is what I'm thinking this might be.
Well, it looks that way, doesn't it, from just watching this, but because you've got all the classes in there from Vermintide by the looks of it. But I mean, if it's anything like the latest one, I don't know. It's a bad trailer. There's nothing good to say about that trailer, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah.
I've got no positives. None.
It's just funny because it's just pure wholesome cringe.
Yeah.
That they think that's so badass. Like, look at it, you got the songs and everything. Oh, it's good. And other than that, we have a little bit of gameplay at the same time as as a reveal for a villain, I suppose, a type of monster or villain called Hagedorn, I suppose. Let's see. Oh yeah, so you can also pre-order it now on the 22nd of June.
Well, at least they still have the heavy metal soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, again, what am I supposed to glean off that gameplay trailer?
Yep, not too much. Again, I think that was mostly just a showcase of their new guy. At least from that, we can see something of movement of character models there, because you get those reveal trailers, they're not exactly representative of what you're going to get, of what you're actually going to see in game. And there is another gameplay thing from IGN that kind of looks over and goes through character customization and so on and so forth. But I'm certainly interested to see what they do with it. Looks like they've got Drizzed, good old Drizzed on the team, everyone's fan favorite. If you like the what was it, Dragonlance? What did he come from? What did Drizzed come from? Was it Dresden Files, or I don't. He's the quintessential drow with two long swords and his panther animal companion.
Yeah.
A lot of people like him. He was from some kind of book series back in the day, and he's just such a fan favorite that everyone can't help but put him into everything they do.
Then just sell him as a DLC, then people will buy it.
Oh yeah. There you go. See, now you're thinking like them.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't promote DLC, should I? I'm totally against them, but if you
be careful, Winfell, you'll become that which you hate.
No, if you want to make money though, that's how you do it. Put a fan favorite in DLC, off you go. As far as they've not started doing that with the Mortal Kombat series, just put every character in DLC. By the game base, no characters.
Are you a fan of Warhammer 40k by any chance?
Not as much as the fantasy version.
Yeah, I think you told me that before. Yeah. So you're not as interested in Dark Tide coming out soon?
No, see, that looks better than what this does.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
No, I haven't said for like 40k. I've got a lot of things wrong. I was disappointed in quite a few things 40k have done, but recently, I mean, they've got that, like you said, that one coming out, which it looks decent, to be fair.
Oh yeah, it's the same people that do Vermintide, so
Yeah.
I'm very excited because they've got it down. You know, they know what they're doing. So I'm very excited because I love both settings. I definitely have a lot more vested interest in the 40k setting because I've read so much more about it. But I love both medieval fantasy and science fantasy. Like what? Because 40k is just such a mash of like so many different things and so many different motifs. It's insane that it actually all kind of works together when it's operating at its best. So I give them a lot of props for that, and then just so many of the characters I also enjoy. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Darktide, and this I'll definitely be keeping an eye on myself because now that we have a little bit more to look at, it looks
What
alright.
what you think you're gonna buy it? You think you're sold by it?
Not sold yet. I do need to see some more. I'm gotta do a little bit more research.
Well, it comes out in 2 months, so they're going to be releasing things pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, I've got to say that looks pretty garbage. That's my opinion, of course. Like
I needed to laugh with somebody about that first trailer just because I remember seeing it at the at the what was it, the Game Awards release. Yeah, I'm just looking around myself like, does anyone else think that looked like shit?
It does, yes.
Like what year are we in? Is this 2006? What's happening?
Yeah, I would say even not even just the camera, the graphics look pretty terrible. One of that, but I'm like,
the thing they zoom right in, and there was just terrible angles, really bad angles.
Yeah, that's what the next Halo trailer should be like.
Oh,
just have Master Chief like face in the picture while he's murdering all the elites.
Bring it back. Let's get Breaking Benjamin in there too.
Nice.
Oh god. All right. So up next we have one thing that I'm actually very interested in. We talked about this, but I actually found a campaign trailer for it. It's a game called Enlisted. It's a 100 player World War II FPS.
Yeah, we spoke about this last night, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. It is by Gaijin Entertainment, and yeah, I won't say anything more. I'm curious because I actually haven't seen this trailer yet myself, so we'll be going into this a little bit blind. Let's see what we got. This a little bit blind. Let's do it. See what we got. All right. So once again, we have another World War II shooter. What do you think? Because I've got some thoughts.
Well, there's plenty of World War II shooters out there, isn't there?
Yes.
And the last you have been terrible. They've not done well at all. Maybe you could say people got bored of it, but I think people are just bored of the same old garbage with it. But this one looks like it's actually doing the World War II people want to see, which is the beaches, which is the actual gritty warfare, the horribleness of it. You know, rather than fast-paced spinning around and no scoping around, it looks like it's going to be. Looks like it's going to be much more simulator-based, which I kind of like.
That's something you appreciate a lot more.
Well, I think it's something that's a bit different that's on the market at the moment.
I'm of that mind where I guess it's like I don't really care how accurate things are anymore these days. I used to be like kind of on that side of like, oh yeah, just keep things as accurate as possible. But then like when you think about it, it's like sometimes, and obviously there's an exception to this rule, sometimes the more accurate you get to something, the more boring it can be. You know, like the more you stick to something, the more you realize that from a design aspect, and I mean this in like game design, art design, in the direction of design, it can be inherently boring. And so there comes the kind of need to improve on it, to make it better. And I guess that's kind of where we start getting, I guess, kind of like how the direction that the Assassin's Creed games started going. They started moving away from more realistic, historical, accurate times, and these old settings, and they just started moving a little bit more and more towards fantasy, because that's kind of like that is just a lot more interesting, I guess.
You're saying focus less on the details,
creative, yeah,
and focus more on the gameplay.
Exactly. So it's like I'm not exactly mad that whether or not like whether you're running around 360 or everything, anything like that. But there's definitely a place, I will agree with you, like where you have your simulators that are just perfect, like one-to-one reality. Because like I guess like a good way to put it is the argument of, do you want the experience of, yeah, I got my boots on the ground, I'm the soldier of World War II storming Normandy Beach, and then one bullet in your shoulder, that's it, you're done.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like what's the line, dude? what if the boat opens up, you get hit, and that's it, you're just kicked out of the lobby?
I mean, it's a brutal way of doing it, but essentially that's what Battle Royale is, isn't it, really?
I suppose so. But that's just kind of my my question to some people who and there's definitely, I've seen this argument of like, oh, it's not accurate enough. It's like, okay, what's the line? How realistic do you want this to be? Before it just gets ridiculous. What's the logical extreme that we can reach?
Well, I don't know. Well, I'm hoping this, because off that trailer, it looks decent. It looks like something I'd put on my wish list immediately.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. I do enjoy me some realism. Absolutely. I think despite being, I don't know, what are your thoughts on Battlefield, Battlefield 1 and 5?
So Battlefield is probably my favorite FPS franchise. But Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 for me they were just basically generic for what they were. They didn't really offer me anything that I wanted from either game, which is odd, because if you go to the modern shooters, if you'd asked me then when I was playing Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 2, I'd be like, yeah, give me a World War II game, give me a World War 1 game. And as soon as them games came out, I was like, I don't want these. But I don't know if that's, COD did the same thing, didn't they? They tried World War II not so long ago and they failed with that.
That's the thing. They like, people just keep trying World War II over and over and over again. It's such a fan favorite that they keep kind of milking it. It's to that point where I'm like, I'm kind of tired of seeing it. I'd rather they move to different frontiers of World War II or 1, because there are so many different ones other than like Normandy Beach and.
Well, I think the problem is you're doing, like, if you look at COD, for instance, it did World War II, but with the same COD format, with the same no scoping, with the same hollow sights, and things like that. They didn't change it up enough to fit the era, because they were too scared that people wouldn't play, because it wouldn't feel like a COD game.
Yeah. I agree. Excuse me. Ah, fuck. All right, there we go. Personally, I played 5 and 1 Battlefield for a little tiny bit. Wasn't able to get too many hours into it, but from the experiences I had, I really did enjoy it. The thing that stood out to me the most, I think, was just sound design for the weapons. I think they just did a phenomenal job at making it very satisfying to shoot your gun and land hits. I don't know what it was. It was like music to my ears. It was just so satisfying to shoot the weapons in that game.
I would argue that's the basics of an FPS.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. That should be a good standard. That's a good standard to reach because that is what's gonna immerse you into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
First and foremost is just the sounds. But yeah, definitely looks interesting. I always love I always love a game with a good gimmick, and this isn't a new one by any means. Because how we have battle royale now of 100 people being dropped into a zone and killing each other, and we've had this since Mag back in like when did that come out?
A
Do you
long time
remember that?
ago. Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Oh, that had to be what late tens or not late tens, late zeros, I guess. 10, 09, somewhere around back then.
It's a while.
It was PS3 era, I'm pretty sure. But even back then, they're trying out the gimmick of large scale battles of everyone's controlling a person and
Well, they
two
would,
teams fighting each other.
yeah, I mean, you had you even had Halo from the very beginning do free for alls like in arenas.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I hope they crack it. The thing is that I would say about 100-person battle royale in World War II is what you do about loot.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about battle royale is there's plenty of varied loot around for guns, add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
World War II, where'd you go with that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure. You just land and you get a tank. Is that a thing?
Yeah, right. Well, have you ever played? This came out last year. Hell Let Loose.
Oh, do you know what? It's been on my wish list from day one, and I've never played it.
Oh, really? I've got it. I played it a couple times with Skull and Chonkers over on their channels. It was. mm,
Not fun.
it has so much potential. I think it suffers from the realism aspect of just not knowing where the hell you're being shot from.
I see. So no, like HUD notification when you're being hit.
There's HUDs and everything. It is just incredible. Like if you ever boot it up, I think best way to explain it to you is to just have you experience it, and you might have a different experience. But I'm one of those guys that I'll be out there middle of nowhere, forest, crawling on my stomach, and I'll just get popped, and that's it. And you hear gunfire, you try and zero in on where it's possibly coming from, but there's really not any overt lens flares to kind of give you an idea. You kind of just have to spot them, and it is very hard.
Isn't that what you want from a game, though? Like,
again, it is that's a great question to ask. Is it what we want for a game? Do we want it to be that brutal? I would say that difficult in finding somebody. Because do you think that would be more immersive for some people, or do you think that might turn off too many people?
I think you have to ask the question of what is it you want, because if you want something that's hardcore, you got plenty out there. You got Armor, for instance, which does a phenomenal job of what is happening. I have no idea, because in that game, I don't know what's happening ever. I genuinely have no idea, and I think that's kind of what I like about it, because it's going to take me 20 minutes to get across one little road, because I'm like trying to plan out the map. I've got the team with me as well.
And I guess you and I kind of both stand on opposite lines, on opposite sides of the line there. In that I do love immersion and I do love simulators, but I still want the accessibility, because I can't say that I'm a hardcore gamer. Like I especially nowadays, I can be a very casual gamer in that I just enjoy games that just are easy to access. And there's nothing wrong with making like simulators or highly competitive games that are very difficult and the learning curve is very difficult, but it might just not be for me. But I am interested in the idea of what these companies' mindsets are, and that, okay, this is our audience. How many people exactly are we going to alienate from this game with this learning curve?
Well, I think recently it's a problem with more realistic games, I find, because recently I found that, and I get it in Halo all the time whenever I play Halo, and it's the argument I make every single time, which is people want fast games now. People want to be able to die, respawn, jump straight back in. So battle royales, you know, you do see it on Halo and other games where people instantly DC as soon as they go down or they get killed. Like, you even see it on Dead by Daylight, any game where there's PvP. As soon as someone goes down or gets injured or gets killed first, they just quit the game. And that's the battle royale mentality of, well, I'm out of this one, may as well jump into the next one.
Right.
So that mentality is spread across other genres now, and it's ruining the games for everyone else who just wants to play it, because you're basically leaving your team high and dry right from the off because you've had a hissy fit, threw your toys out the pram and gone. Because that's what you want from a game now. And I don't know if that's just a young person's mentality these days, you know, someone in their teens or early 20s or whatever, they've been playing these games for a while now. These are the kind of games they grew up with, rather than, you know, someone like me that's had to wait for lobbies, jump in, you know, you die, you get beat, sure. But nowadays, with Battle Royales, you're spoiled. You're just dead and instantly into the next one.
I suppose it's a question of time investment, right? Like, how much time are you willing to sink in, or are you willing to give the game, versus the reward? So I guess like, because the issue I have with a lot of battle royales, and the issue I hear with a lot of people that are not as, you know, as amazing as FPS shooters as they are, is they don't like having to sit in the lobby for X amount of time waiting to get put in the game, B, get put in the game and then waiting further just to drop, C, running around very carefully, for some people very carefully, not guns blazing, because, you know, that they're just not that high of level of a competitive player, for about 20 to 30 minutes and then dying.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but what it comes back to me as well is that it really affects the way you play with others. Teamwork in video games now, because of things like the battle royales and because of COD, where people just do it themselves and solo play. You join any other game now, team-based wise, and it's just like, what's a team? They don't play as a team. There's no teamwork involved. You try and work with them, and they're just calling you trash because they've got more kills and more points than you. Like, well, I'm covering you. You don't understand how the game's working because you're too used to these fast-paced FPS games like COD or battle royales.
Well, like, I think it's also a difference of health, life systems, like the amount of lives you have. With battle royale, you're one and done, right? You have the option of being rezzed and being brought back a couple times, and for all of COD's for all of Call of Duty's downfalls, I will say that with their Warzone battle royale thing, I do like the idea of the gulag, of you die, you go back, you have to beat somebody 1-on-1 and you can come back, or your team can bring you back if they pay enough money, because there's a little cash system going there. I think that's really good.
Yeah, the gulag is good, but I'd also argue the point that the gulag also promotes individual play again. Nothing about teamwork in there involved. It's all about how you personally play the game.
No, I totally agree. It's just one of those things about getting you back into the game, because it all comes back from time investment. How long do you want to sit there to only enjoy the game for X small amount of time, and then you have to sit there again? You know, it's like, is it worth it?
Yeah,
you know
probably.
What I'm saying?
I mean, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. It depends, right? Like, I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm saying it just depends on the game. It's like, are you getting your money's worth or your time's worth out of this? If you sit there for an hour in a lobby and then you play the game for 2 minutes and then you get kicked, that's an extreme that I'm setting up a extreme hypothetical. But if that was it, you know, what I'm trying to highlight there is that there's a line. There's definitely a line that people have.
So what you're saying is the most balanced game we have out there then in terms of time and deaths and management is COD, not COD, Counter-Strike.
I've never actually played Counter-Strike.
It's a one-hit death, but you got a next round to go into. So, you know, you get the best of both worlds.
again, I'm not saying one way or the other. From what I've seen though, like some like back in PUBG days, like early PUBG, oh, it was horrendous. It was absolutely awful. You wait forever for a game. You wait forever for the lobby to fill up. You wait forever to hit the ground, get all your stuff, and then you get sniped by like some random guy from 100 meters away. It was terrible. And I think Apex and Warzone definitely did a lot to improve on those elements. Just make things a little faster, get people back in so they don't have to wait as long.
Yeah.
But again, it's like you said, going back to what you said, like it does create that mentality of I die, that's it, I DC, I'm gone. Because they just don't want to waste any more time. They just want to hop into the next game.
Okay. Personal preference, I suppose.
Yeah, again, it comes down to the person, their mindset, and the game itself. But I do love discussing these things because I enjoy game design. I enjoy what goes into keeping a player base there, keeping players invested, what's bringing them back, what's causing them to do X, what's causing them to do Y, how do you reach Z, that kind of thing.
I think it comes down to age, doesn't it? The older you get, the slower the games get.
Oh, I suppose so. I think age definitely factors into things. I wouldn't say it's the be all end all though. I think there's an exception to everything, exception to every rule.
Yeah. What's next on the agenda? What have you got?
Let's see what is next on the agenda. I guess coming off of that, we can talk about. I got a little article here for us. 1 second. Got Xbox says it's more important than ever to preserve gaming icons and classics.
Well,
what do you think about that?
Well, we were talking last night about it, wasn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking in terms of, because you reckon it's a response to Nintendo,
mm-hmm.
and the fact that they got rid of Mario 3D All Stars from their store.
Oh yes.
Although they always planned on doing that, but this is the argument now: is that you're right, preserving gaming icons and classics. Like, I don't know the uproar there would be if they try to get rid of Pac-Man for good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people would like that. Even people now who've never played it probably wouldn't like it, because it's more like these gaming classics and these gaming icons. Even when Halo's dead and long gone, to preserve Halo would be a Master Chief would be a big thing, because they're kind of like our statues, aren't they? Like, everyone's got these countries have statues of heroes and things, and this is what we grew up with.
Oh, one of the biggest things that I was so sad about to hear is Bungie.net getting shut down.
Yeah, it's just a time. You can't forget these things that pour all this happiness in our lives. It's
I'll say it, like Halo 3 was just like one of the greatest games ever created on purely the experience it gives you, the custom games, the theater mode, being able to upload images, the community around it, the website, and the moderators. It's just so much came out of that game other than just what was in the content on the disc.
Yeah.
It was insane. And to see libraries of photos and custom maps and screenshots and videos and all that of matches and custom games and all that stuff just that was saved on Bungie.net, just to see that go, dude, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that hurts the most, isn't it? Losing stats. So you can't go back and look at them again. And
yeah, like, you better just screenshot the entire website, everything you got on there, because there it goes.
Yeah, it's sad. It is. But I think Microsoft are right in saying that you have to preserve these characters.
Oh, absolutely. You have to. It's akin to photos, like your old family photos. Like, some people really do have that kind of level of attachment to these old games.
Well, for a lot of people as well, especially now. Look at the state we're in the world right now.
Oh, especially now.
For a lot of people, the only social interaction they get is on video games. And to have your favorite video game where you've met some friends,
Yeah,
Like,
I
how
mean,
many people have made friends on things like WoW and stuff, and if you took that away from them, what else
how
did they have?
how many times do you see the meme nowadays, or have over like the past year, a couple of years? I've seen it. It's like, hey, good night, bud. We'll play again tomorrow, and then last online 5 years ago.
Yeah, I have seen a few of them
Yeah.
recently. Yeah,
Oh, those hit hard. I remember those. Those
yeah,
those days on Xbox Gold Party.
yeah.
Oh man.
That's what I mean. You don't want to lose that, surely.
Mm-mm.
You don't.
Absolutely not. It's for a lot of people that grew up with these games. Yeah, that's where you made your friends.
Yeah,
How
pretty
many
much.
people? How many people I have right now on just Discord and everything that I'm friends with that are overseas, people that I've never met, yourself included. Uh, you, Skull, Jess, Jessilla, Chonkers. I got tons. My friend Total, everyone,
Yeah.
all these people all over the world that I've never actually physically met. But to think that if Discord just disappeared, obviously we'd try and keep in touch. But
Yeah.
that's tough.
And isn't that what hurt when Mixer shut down?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You want to speak to some people again, see them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it's good, and that's funny. It's like it's an interesting point because you and I wouldn't really be talking right now if that was it. If Mixer just shut down, because that's how I got introduced to you, is through Skull, through Mixer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So to take away someone's game from them or someone's gaming hero, I mean, it's just cold. But I guess time moves on, and you have to come up with new heroes. But I don't see why you can't keep them in your vault. You've got them there. It's not going to cost you anything else just to keep them on the store, is it?
Yeah, I mean, so if you ask me, if you want me to be evil corporate man, or evil genius corporate man, why not just make physical copies and start reselling them?
I guess it's too much money nowadays, isn't it? Everything has to be online. Everything has to be digital.
I guess
because it saves you making that physical copy, so it saves you money.
I don't know. I think, well, here's the funny thing. Well, again, evil corporate genius man. Here's the thing: if it's a physical copy, and it's going to be a limited run, or you make it a limited run, and you say, "Oh, look, we're reprinting physical copies again. Get it now at this higher price because obviously so many more people want it." Couldn't they get away with that?
Well, they could do, but also you're looking at they're not going to Nintendo not going to sell it themselves, are they? Like always, they're going to sell it on things like GameStop and places like that.
Right.
So letting them sell it, they're cutting into your profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
Selling it online, it's all yours.
Yeah.
There's no third party. It's all yours.
No, you're right. You're right.
So I mean, unfortunately, it all comes down to money. So, but again, I don't understand why you would take off a game digitally from an online store. It doesn't make sense to me.
This wasn't just I assumed I thought this was in response to the Switch, Nintendo taking down All Stars and everything, but apparently it also had to do with the PS3 stores and PSP Vita and all those being closed down very soon.
Yeah, I mean, if no one's using it anymore, but I'm not saying people are going to buy it again, but there's always going to be someone that wants to go back and relive something.
Absolutely. And I guess the idea is that now that they've moved on to console generations ahead, there's very few people buying or using those stores. So there's no point. I guess at this point it's costs too much money to keep those servers up.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Again, it all comes down to money, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see if Xbox live up to the hype and they keep everything.
Well, allegedly they're moving everything to their cloud storage, which I mean, good on them if that's what they want to do. We'll see how well that works out as an idea. I'm certainly happy that they're doing so. I could definitely commend them for that kind of move, because honestly, like, why would you want people to forget about these old classics? Why wouldn't you want to allow people to still have access to them?
Well, I know PlayStation and Xbox are both working on backward compatibility, aren't they, with the new consoles? So you can go play original Xbox games on the Xbox Series X, which is what you want to do. That's the way forward.
Yeah.
Like improve the chance of someone buying your games by having every single game you've ever produced and published on your website. To me, that just makes sense. I mean, it's not going to cost you more to have a game available to buy online. I don't think it's going to cost you.
Not. Absolutely not.
Although you might have to update it so you can play it on the new console. You might have to do a bit of tweaking with it, but
I also think they're absolutely losing out on the potency and the opportunity that they could grab with ROM sites.
Yeah,
like ROM hacks, because my God, we're moving into the era of PS3 ROM hacks now. Now I'm seeing on sites.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I think they're really just letting that opportunity slip. Because why wouldn't you just corporatize that? Why wouldn't you just bring that into the fold, so to speak, and just make it your own? You'd still charge money for it, like it's just I don't know. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I think it comes down to the fact that at some point in your life, your heroes will die off.
I suppose.
Everyone's heroes dies.
Well, I mean, I guess this is why you buy those physical copies early on, back in the day. So now everything's just going into digital.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's
never going to own anything.
It is the future, though, honestly. Streaming games is going to be the future.
Yeah.
For me, there's no other way to go. You have to stream games. Google Stadia, they have the right plan, wrong execution.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see in 10 years' time when there's no more physical consoles being sold. It's just all online. You're streaming from a website.
I can't wait to see how much further they go with the Stadia, how they're going to bring it back. That'll be very funny. That was quite a bit of a flop for them.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's the right plan. They've got the perfect idea of where the future's going, but they've just done it too soon. But everyone has to be soon. You look at the Saturn and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's always a company that implements the right idea at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And someone has to be the first. Someone has to be the first.
Mm-hmm.
And with the first, inevitably, there's going to be a lot of mistakes. And then everyone else copies that idea but makes it better. So here we are.
Yeah. And
like Elon Musk with NASA. NASA make all the mistakes. Elon comes along. Let's do it better and quicker.
Yeah. And I guess from there we can move along to Cyberpunk. One of would you say it's a favorite game of yours?
I think for me personally, and it's difficult. Okay, so I've only played. Mm-hmm. I'd say I've played fewer than 10 hours on the game. Mm-hmm. I'm not long into it, but for me, it was game of the year last year.
Oh yeah,
I would, yeah. Even though I've not played it for 2-3 months, I'm probably never going to finish it because it's one of those games. I'm not really interested in these games anymore. It goes back to, I mean, I was complaining about it earlier, but there's so much energy involved and so much concentration and story that I'm like, oh my, it's just too heavy. I don't want to watch a film. I want to play a game.
But you would give it game of the year.
I think it's incredible. The vision they've got for it, the way the looks, the way it plays. Yeah, there's bugs in it, sure. I know there's. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive, and I know there's a lot of problems with it. Mm-hmm. But it's incredible what they achieved with it.
I think they had a lot of ambition. I think they got screwed over quite a few times in their production cycle. I don't have the 100% of the story. I don't know who does or if anyone ever will. So I can't make any definitive statements on that. But from what we got in the product, from what we got in the product, it seems like they didn't get all the way. They didn't get all the way there. It seems like there was some instances of false advertisement with a couple of the trailers. People were a bit disappointed and annoyed that some of the things being portrayed in some of the earlier trailers, like you just never see, or they didn't look as good, or they didn't look the way they were when actually released into the game. You had a lot of glitchiness, a lot of bugs. I know you said you didn't experience too many yourself.
No, I got one right at the beginning, which was the very, very beginning of the game, like the first scene. Like you get in your car right at the beginning and you drive onto the road. And as soon as I drove onto the road, there was someone stood above the road, like hovering over it, like 20 feet. So I actually drove under him, even though he stood on the road.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I didn't come across anything that really stood out as a mistake or a problem. And again, it's all personal opinion, of course, but for me, what they did, because this is the game that follows The Witcher 3 as well after they did that. And The Witcher 3 is one of the best games of all time.
Oh, absolutely.
And with Cyberpunk 2077, for me, I think they surpassed it. I think they did even better. Although I will admit they have recently just cancelled multiplayer on it as well, right?
Yes, they have.
Yeah, so multiplayer's been cancelled, I think, on it. And again, I don't know how that was going to work, if I'm honest. I'm really not sure. And I think that was a bad way to go with it because they don't make multiplayer games.
Sorry. Quick aside. Hi, Jello. Thank you for the gifted tier 1 sub.
Hey, Jello.
Retro. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for popping in. But yeah, they canceled multiplayer. Yeah, not sure how what they were planning to do with that. How that was going to happen.
I mean, I hope it wasn't going to be a battle royale. Like just in a nice city there running around. Although, I mean, with all the mods you could have on a battle royale game, it could have worked. But no, honestly, I think it's phenomenal. The story's incredible. The characters I loved the gunplay. I love the options you get through it, the choices you make. I love the character customization because so many people put so much emphasis on character customization these days. And again, they let you do anything. They let you make a woman with a penis if you want.
Yeah, that was great.
So they've covered all bases.
I've seen the customization. I'll say I was disappointed in that you couldn't make a bigger penis.
Yeah, I mean, you could choose size, but yeah, I think you only had 2 sizes. And I was like, about my micro penis, how am I supposed to...
I was pretty disappointed in size, too. I wanted a third leg, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did call my character tripod as a thing, but no. Although maybe that could be one of the microtransactions.
I mean, come on.
Penis size.
It's the future, right? I mean,
biometrics...
DLC. Everything you either go 210% or it's not enough. I'm sorry, like that's my hot take. The penises were not big enough.
And
I don't think we went far enough.
That's why it's not your game of the year.
Yeah, that's really it. That's really it. If you want to impress me, Cyberpunk, make the dick bigger.
Yeah, if you want big dick of the year, go bigger.
Jello Shot says Automatic disappointed for not having a bigger penis. Sounds about right. You got me.
Yeah.
You got me red-handed.
That's it. We were all disappointed in that, to be fair.
But speaking of The Witcher, excellent segue. Apparently, from Mr. Cavill's Twitter, they today, and I just found this out just before the stream, they have wrapped up filming for the 2nd season of The Witcher.
It's like we planned that segue, wasn't it?
Right?
Like me mentioning The Witcher was...
I'm just that good.
Yeah, well, I mean... Okay, so actually we disagreed on this, didn't we, not so long ago? Because I said The Witcher is one of the best things on TV ever.
And I said it was okay.
Yeah, exactly. You were disappointed in it.
I was very disappointed. I love me some Henry Cavill. And I was fairly disappointed in how much it felt like he was took a back seat and was almost a side character throughout most of the series. I was disappointed in how they presented the magic system. But beyond that, there was also a lot of things like, and I'll preface this by saying I have no issue with films doing the whole out of chronological order sequences. Some of my favorites that do that are like Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, just to name 2 off the top of my head, but
Tarantino films, and he's the one that can get away with it. Okay, there you go. Tarantino does. Yeah, Tarantino does the Witcher series next. There we go.
Oh, let's have it. Let's do it. Come on, I want Samuel Jackson
plays an older Witcher.
Geralt.
Yeah,
I want Samuel Jackson as Geralt.
And John Travolta in there as well. There's Triss. That'd be great.
Yes.
Because Triss really needs replacing in that series.
I need Uma Thurman as Ciri. I need Tim Roth as Jaskier.
No, give
Jennifer.
Jennifer. Yeah. There we go. Yeah,
that's it. I just need some motherfuckers dropped in there.
while riding a horse.
Yep. But no, it's particularly towards the end there, like, sorry, towards the beginning with the chronological order stuff, it was very jarring to understand because you're still taking a lot of information in at once, and so you have to go back and watch a few more times because I didn't realize it was out of chronological order until maybe the third episode in. And that's just me. I'm not saying that's how the experience for everyone is, but I think I can still make an argument that they didn't do it well enough.
No, I mean, okay, so I'd follow with that by saying I'd agree with you. For a few episodes, I was a bit confused as to what's going on, and it definitely took a second watch before I was like, I understand everything now. Well, I will say, Geralt takes a little bit of a backseat through his own show, but the way they did the story and the way it is out of order, but the way they've told it and the way it comes across by the end, I think it makes perfect sense the way they did it, and it works really well. But I will, again, and we have spoken about this, is the magic system bit of a flop.
Oh yeah,
they kind of changed their mind halfway through, and they're like, do you know what? This isn't going to work for us. So,
So I'm perfectly okay with a vague approach to magic systems in your fantasy settings. I would prefer that you, as the writer, have a clear and present understanding about what a person can and cannot do versus their resources. So how D&D, you have spell slots, you have a X amount of times a day you can do something before you're out, and that's it, you're spent. And the audience doesn't need to understand exactly, but you should. I think that I think you should completely, as a writer, understand what your character's resources are. And it doesn't feel to me, and the biggest example of this is the runaway from the assassin that Yennefer has, and the final battle at the castles. Those are like the two biggest, I think, examples to me of the magic system just being limitless in terms of resources. Spells just being cast over and over and over again without seemingly any kind of cost to them.
Consequence.
Yeah, no consequence, no cost. And the one, and I did want to talk to you about this because I do remember this, and this really pissed me off. Except the one that did have a consequence to it that was just kind of ignored almost, was the opening fireball that the enemy army launched at the castle in the middle of the night. I don't know if you remember this. The actor
it takes
or
his soul.
the character, it just dies and just launches it. So this army has been collecting sorceresses and sorcerers and training them for years to unlock their power. Good amount of time and resources spent into creating these magicians for war, and you're just going to haphazardly kill one of them and launch a fireball as an opening salvo, and just to see what happens. This is one of like your strongest things that you can throw at the enemy army, and you just wasted a entire apprentice wizard sorcerer for that. That just that really rubbed me the wrong way. And again, it's not like that's like game breaking in terms of plot or anything, but it is like kind of like a death by a thousand cuts, because as I'm sitting over it's almost like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Well, it is. It would have worked if they didn't, like I said, have limitless power at the end scene anyway.
That's the thing. It's like they just kind of ignore it by the end, and it's like, you just cast however much you want. It's fine. So it's all spectacle.
They have to kill themselves, become a fireball, yet she can just fire with whenever she wants. Let it go. It's funny as well because they made a big point of, when she's training up with all her friends as well, is that it will cause a consequence if you do it wrong. Like magic needs consequence. But we had a whole episode on that, and then they just throw it away.
Can we appreciate the fact that there is finally a decent live action adaptation? I would like more than decent. I would like to push for more.
I think it's phenomenal. Honestly, I've watched it 3 times, like from start to finish without a break. I love it.
And the thing, I'm with the chronological order thing. I would almost say that I enjoy it it's just the beginning. I think they could have done better to really hammer home that these things are taking place in different times, because by the time you've realized it, your mind is going, wait, then does that mean I missed something in these last 3 episodes? You have to go back and watch again instead of just understanding right from the get-go what is happening, and it's almost distracting in that way.
I will say though, if you have to go back and rewatch it, it's worth it. Go do it.
I might. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Oh, I guess that's just entirely subjective.
If you ever listen to this, Henry, don't you worry, pal. You're a great Witcher. You're doing good work. That's just in case he listens. I know he does. It's
Henry, come on. Come on to our podcast. Talk to us about being the Witcher.
I was I was one of the skeptics about him. I didn't think he was going to do a good job. I hated the idea of it, and then as soon as episode 1 started, I was like, yeah, he's my boy.
And funny thing is, I wasn't. I remain skeptical because I don't like to just throw out an accusation. I'll make speculations, absolutely, but I don't like to just dismiss. I like to wait for things to happen, and just to see what the final product is. And so when people heard, oh, Henry Cavill's cast is like, yeah, he's not going to do a good job, or the wig doesn't look great because they had those early shots of the wig and everything. I'm like, guys, relax. It's still way too early. You really think they're just going to go with that look? He's like, oh, he doesn't look grizzled enough. I'm like, well, they're obviously going for a clean shaven look, but do you really think Henry Cavill can't do grizzled? Like, he's a phenomenal actor, dude.
I mean, he's got a good beard as well when he wants one.
Oh yeah, he's got a great mustache too. That man is one of like maybe 5 men in the world that can really pull off a very nice mustache.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, guys, go watch Mission Impossible Fallout. Even if you're not a Mission Impossible fan, like I'm not, that movie, both writing wise and special effects and stunt and actors, oh, it is tight. It is good. It is some good stuff, and you get Cavill in there, and I'm telling you, that mustache is going to make you think about things differently. It's going to make you feel a certain type of way.
I mean, if we're promoting Cavill, check out Man from U.N.C.L.E. as well.
Well, yep, that one too. That one's a great one. I love that show. Oh, that movie. It was good. Don't watch the DCEU. It's terrible.
Noted.
Don't bother. Don't bother with the Superman or the Batman movies. They're awful.
Yeah, they are bad.
You don't want to see jelly lip Cavill.
No.
It's funny when that was coming out. I was watching it and I understood because he refused to shave his mustache, and I'm like, for Justice League, and I'm like, oh, so Justice League had to die for Mission Impossible Fallout to live. I'm okay with that.
Well,
I'm not mad at that.
Could probably argue which one won. Which was Mission Impossible.
Fallout's so much better.
Yeah.
It is such a good script. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You don't need any kind of context. You can go into it completely negligent of other Mission Impossible movies. I think it's a great strength and a little notch in its belt as it is.
It should have been the newest Top Gun. That would have been good.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, Henry in the new Top Gun film.
just get him next to Tom Cruise and make him do things.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming off of that, there hasn't been any announcement for the next season. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And from what I saw in the screenshot, which let me see if I can pull it up, because why not? Let's take a look at it. My hot take for season 1, other than me just kind of being unimpressed by it, I also didn't like the armor. What did you think about it? The studded leather that he had.
I didn't mind it, honestly. I think
Really?
everything they did well, looks wise, story. I mean, the only thing I didn't particularly like was, like I said, the casting of Triss. I did not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, I was fine with. I bought it. I believed it. I lived it. I wanted it. Makes me excited. So I've got high hopes for season 2. I really do.
Mm-hmm. And there's the man himself, new set of armor, which is why I brought that up. It's got a little bit new going on, so I think it's an improvement. What I didn't like about the first one in the first season, I think has the same issues here, is too much of the studding I think it just makes him look like bedazzled. And I was kind of just also confused, like how come he doesn't have his kind of like iconic armor that you see in the games with the chainmail shoulder piece, and this looks very. I bought this on Etsy or at the Ren Fair type of armor.
I mean, he's got to work his way up to it, hasn't he?
And that's the thing. That's what I assume is going to be the deal there, which I'm perfectly fine with if that's what they're doing. If they're just working their way up towards the beard and the and his final armor, if they're doing a kind of Marvel hero origins thing where they don't have their super suit right from the get go, I'm perfectly cool with that.
I'm telling you, this is going to go on 15 years. This is a 15 season thing.
Oh my god. We'll see.
And then you'll be like, well, now I get it.
Well, I totally get it. I loved the Wild Hunt games. The game, sorry. I enjoy the concept of the different schools, the Geralt himself. Again, I just wish he had a bigger prominent role in the first one, because I think my favorites. My favorite interactions were definitely just him and Jaskier. The chemistry that the two actors kind of shared was a lot of fun every time they were on screen together.
Well, they can focus more on that now because he's got Ciri, hasn't he, in season 2?
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're going to see more Henry.
Can't wait.
Me neither.
Oh yeah. And I guess to finish out, because you did want to talk about this, I guess to finish out the day, we had one little thingamajig. Let me just find it. The Chinese government and a tech company by the name of Tencent busted one of China's biggest cheat sellers the other day. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll take your cookies, whatever. So let's look at that. Tencent helps bust world's biggest cheating operation. The Chinese police seized $46 million worth of assets, including luxury cars. Tencent collaborated with the Chinese police to bust a games cheating ring that was considered the world's biggest. According to the BBC, the organization focused on various games, including Overwatch and Call of Duty Mobile, charging a subscription fee to its users worldwide for access to cheats. Prices ranged from $10 a day to $200 a month. It is believed that the gang made $76 million in revenue. The Kushan police seized $46 million worth of assets, including luxury cars, in the busting operation nicknamed Chicken Drumstick.
I love it.
That's amazing. Whose job is it to name these operations?
Like, I know, but if, I was going to say I'll apply.
Can I get that job? Can I just wake up and name these police operations Chicken Drumstick? Like buckle in, lads. Today's today's mission is McDonald's, Wendy's, Boogaloo. I don't know.
McDonald's, Wendy's, Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Good operation. But no, I mean, this. Yeah, we were talking last week, weren't we, about cheats and what to do about them. And I would never have thought you could make so much money just selling cheats.
The newest cheating software, Flintstones fruit gummies. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, phenomenal. That's a phenomenal amount of money just selling cheats. And you have to ask yourself as well, what took them so long to stop that?
Yeah, right? Like, how do you get away for that long? How do you accrue $76 million? How do you like, when I think of these guys, I would think, oh, there's no way you're getting caught. There's no way you're getting away with this unless you're like underground in a bunker somewhere. No, these motherfuckers apparently have what I'm assuming a mansion and several luxury cars. Like, what the how?
Yeah, and again, it goes back to, it fits in nicely. If Outright is just releasing yesterday, and the fact that their answer to cheats is just giving them a watermark.
Yeah, just branding them, I guess. Or as the Chinese government does, is just walks in there and just arrests them.
Which she's probably right, to be fair, if you're making that much money off it.
Oh yeah.
I think it says in there somewhere that it was like $200 a month subscription.
Yeah. $10 a day to $200 a month. That's insane.
That is insane. And people are actually paying that to skip
that's like, what's the point? Just to win a game.
I don't understand the necessity to cheat and feel good about it.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
Just hit me up, dude. Give me $200. I'll help you win at Monopoly next week. Like, I don't know.
No, I'm not as good as that. I'm not going to promise a Monopoly win.
Right.
Well,
I'll rig the dice. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I'll get you top 5 Monopoly. But I'm not promising a win. But yeah, I mean, cheats. There's no real answer to it, is it? It's only going to get worse, I suppose.
I guess so. Well, I mean, now I guess it's going to get a little better since one of the biggest is done.
Someone to take it over, won't they? There's always going to be someone and read that in China and go, "Oh, I could do that."
That's a big operation. How do you work an operation like that? I really want to know.
But it also shows you how big games are getting. That this sort of thing can happen now. Because I even read, I was reading yesterday about the Olympics introducing video games. So it's going to be video games in the Olympics.
Oh no!
Yeah. Because they've recognized that gaming is akin to a sport, because professional gamers put in the same hours, and it's the same stress load. So they've recognized that it's sport now. Video games.
I think there's an argument there to be made, but I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, it doesn't sit right, does it, when you say it out loud?
Yeah. Well, I think the reason for me personally is just that the Olympics have always been, I think, physical sport.
Yeah, but isn't video gaming a physical sport? You sat there for 50 hours a week practicing.
Right. Absolutely. I would argue I would argue and recognize there's definitely a level of you have to, have that physical physical resolve, but I think more so it's the mental resolve.
Well,
that's why I've always seen it. Like, that's why, like, you don't have chess kind of as an Olympic sport. It's a mental sport, isn't it?
It's very draining though. Like I would argue that it's tiring. Yeah. It's exhausting playing chess, especially at a higher level. If you're playing professional level chess.
Oh yeah, and that's why I guess that seems out of place for me. It is. I would rather put like e-sport competitive type high level play stuff next to stuff like chess or I don't know what else would be a good example of just like a mental type of sport. I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but yeah, like something like that definitely feels like it would belong. Not in physical, not in physical sport necessarily.
I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that we've not seen more of video game tournaments being broadcasted on national TV.
We have had a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah, there's been a tiny bit. I know
a couple of talk shows start talking about them, huh?
Yeah, well, I know there was a tournament on. I think I don't know what it was now. It's like Dota or something. It's on an American TV sports channel. You know, not ESPN, but one of them.
Yeah,
and they showed it. But the problem was that they only showed it in America, so it didn't really go worldwide, which is why I can't remember the name of the station. But I'm surprised.
Coming home with my gold medal in Minecraft. Are you proud of me now, Dad?
Well, that's just it. The thing is, if that's something you're going to aspire to, because now when you're growing up, what are you looking at? You're looking at extremists. You're looking at gaming tournaments. They're the big news now. It's not about I want to be an actor. Why would I do that when I can play games and get paid?
Yeah.
So
you got Overwatch League. You have entire teams of players getting contracts for like $70K a year or even more. Like some
more than that.
100K. Yeah, I'm lowballing, but up to 100K a year and everything like that. It's insane.
I'd take 100K a year to play games.
Well, that's the cutoff, isn't it? It's not just playing games. You are scrimming every day. You better be good, bud.
Well, this is why they were saying the part of the Olympics article was that they recognize how much effort goes into it and how much sacrifice just sat there working. Like I said, it's the mental drain as well. It's the mental exertion.
Yeah. No, I think absolutely. There's definitely a level of mental fortitude that you need to play at the level that these guys play. One of my favorite games for a couple of years now has been Overwatch. As shit as it is, I had almost an addiction to that game in playing. And some of my favorite streamers, fellow by the name of Surefour, is a phenomenal player. He likes to play the hit scan type heroes. Hit scan, for anyone who doesn't understand, is not like projectile, where it takes time for the bullet that leaves your gun to get to somebody. Hit scan is you put the cursor on top of them, you pull the trigger, and boom, it's already hit them. Uh, he liked to play McCree, was the cowboy with the handgun, and he was doing just exercises, just little exercises in this program on his stream, where you have your gun, it's got unlimited ammo, it's just a handgun, and there's a balloon on screen. As soon as that balloon pops, another one will show up, and you just pop, 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 and you just keep shooting. And the speed at which he fucking goes from one balloon to the next, it's insane that a human is capable of that. It is absurd the level like that you can reach of just like hand-eye coordination and prediction up at those like higher echelons of competitive play. It's absurd.
So we're all for the Olympics, yeah?
Hey, again, feels a little out of place, but I won't say no, you can't have it. Bro, I can get a gold medal in getting butt fucked right out of spawn in TF2. There you go. There you go.
Well,
Dream big.
Maybe that's the next thing for Olympics. Then what about speed runs?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, speed runs are fantastic.
That's a talent. That's speed running. That's
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The mental drain if you feel right at the end on that, I couldn't handle it. I don't think.
So some people they the different types, because you have like any percent speed runs. So like whatever your goal is, the end game goal is just get to the end of the game. Doesn't matter how you do it. But then you have like 100% speed runs. And that's like, oh my, how do you what? Because those people go on to play the game and speed run it for 4 hours sometimes, maybe more.
Yeah, longer.
Like, how do you keep focus for that long? Holy hell!
I just think video games are slowly getting probably the respect they deserve now in terms of how much energy they require and how much effort.
A little bit. Speedruns may have issues with mass cheating, though. I don't think it's as big because they, when you're submitting, isn't the big website now like speedrun.net or something, or speedrun.com?
I've seen quite a few like speedruns like be ripped apart on YouTube and stuff. I love them videos.
And that's the thing. It's like you can submit your thing. It's like submitting for like a Guinness, world record kind of thing. They're gonna look at it. You're gonna be scrutinized, so you have to be very careful.
Get the right people in place to verify it. Or if you're gonna do a speed run in the Olympics or something like that, in like a top end competition, you just want to have them there in person, don't you?
It's still silly to say it.
Yeah, it's silly to say, of course.
I really do imagine like, just taking the piss out of it. Is just here's your Call of Duty medal.
I mean, you can laugh all you want, but the amount of money the video games rakes in now.
Oh yeah. No, I have to laugh. Because if I don't laugh, I cry.
It's the biggest business in the world now. Video games, biggest industry, massive money. Earns more than films now. Like it's huge. And not recognizing a market for it, anything is just, I think, like mistake on your part. Not yours personally, of course, but in terms of, if I was a sports company now, like then get an esports player in, that sort of thing, get tournaments going. If I'm the Olympics committee, why not? So the kids are going to watch it. I mean, I don't watch the Olympics, really. I watch the odd event, which is probably the track and field events, like everyone else. But if there was a StarCraft 2 in the Olympics, I'd watch that. I'd watch it.
If there isn't shit talking in COD Olympics about shagging your mom, it's not real COD.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, there better be a live feed between a live Xbox party chat between both teams. I better see some.
If I want to see
some nasty shit talking.
Yeah, I want to be there on BBC One watching the Olympics one day and watching some kid tell another kid, a 10-year-old, that he's fingered his mum in the back alley while beating him at COD. That's what I want to see. That for me would be the best Olympics in history.
I want to be the judge with the card that rates the trash talk. Like, you better bring your fucking A game, dude.
Just have mum joke equals heard it before.
Yeah.
All right, I fingered your dad in the back alley. How about that one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay. I've quite offensive.
I'll fuck your mom and I'll top your dad next. Let's go, bud.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's only a matter of time. I mean, we can laugh, but
that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
I reckon within the next 10 years, I can see it.
Yeah.
Like I said, the Olympics have already said they're going to do it.
Oh yeah. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's probably going to be it for today. Roster, my tooth is absolutely killing me at this point.
At least you've stopped coughing.
Oh yeah. Well, I finally managed to clear my throat. You ever have that? You ever have that little bit of phlegm in the back of your throat? You just can't get rid of it. Just keeps coming back.
I mean, yeah, probably, but I can't think of a specific moment right now. But no,
but yeah. Thank you for anybody that came by. Jello, again, thank you for the sub. Yeah, that was awesome.
It's been good. I mean, you can catch this podcast on Sundays when I put up on YouTube again, and I'll send it you to put on your Discord and whatnot.
All right. That phlegm's name is Odd. Yes, it's the odd phlegm in the back of my throat. But catch us again, same time next week, Fridays. Thank you for everybody still listening. Hope you'd enjoyed it. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, thanks for having me around. Thanks for being around. Yeah. And
oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Wait. Let's see here.
You trying to spell my name right again?
No, I don't need to anymore. It's exclamation point Sofel. I think that's what I put. Come on, where is it? Shout out's supposed to work now. No.
Absolutely disappointing.
Oh come on.
Absolutely disappointing.
This is supposed to work. Why isn't it working?
And as usual, useless.
Guys,
absolutely
somebody
useless.
Shout him out. Come on. Oh. I have his name in the title. Oh, you didn't check the stream title, have you?
Yeah, I've checked it.
Okay.
Are you happy I got it right this time? I mean, after last week's joke, to be honest.
Oh, God. Hold on. Exclamation point. Sow fell. SOWFELL. Yeah, that should work. Dude, come on. It's supposed to work.
Well, anyway.
This is so disappointing.
Useless.
Absolutely useless. I'm sorry. I have to get canceled again.
Yeah. Time you out on your own stream. I'm gonna try it. No, I'm mod. I'm just gonna kick you.
Oh God, twitch.tv/windfell_. There you go, guys. Go check him out. He does quite a bit of streaming now.
Yeah, mainly card games at the moment. Played some Magic yesterday.
There you go.
Some artifacts. Hate that. I'm not playing Fortnite though. Don't you worry. No Fortnite. I know. Thanks for joining us.
Who do we raid? That was the other thing. Who do we raid?
I don't know. You're getting cancelled. It doesn't really matter, does it?
I guess it doesn't. What do we got? We got this Windfell guy streaming right now. He seems like a bit of a twat though.
Yeah, well, I'm going off as well.
Oh, all right.
But it's been fun. Thanks for having everyone. Enjoyed it.
Yep.
I'll speak to Zekod in a minute.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Do we have?
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I don't know why, but the whole way through, I've been looking at my camera like I'm streaming or something. It's weird. But anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hey you, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, particularly the subscribe button. It's around here somewhere. I don't know, one of the corners. But yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.